So now we come up and we've got the facts. I don't dispute it. The $2.2 million sale. Yeah, that was the price that they required to be paid, and an appraisal was done by the township to see what the value was, and it was confirmed that it was at that level. Township at that point in time sitting there saying, hey, here's a $2.2 million property. We could allow it to be developed for houses, or we could preserve it for open space. We had the ability and the fortune to be able to go to the county to get some dollars. We parlayed some of our own money with some $880,000 from the county and preserved the property. As we did that, we took some steps to try and take a portion of that property where the house was and cut that off from the rest of the property, so that in fact there would be the ability for somebody to potentially utilize that property differently than the balance of the property. There had been any number of conversations that had taken place. Some of the original people that came in were people who wanted to just have it as their own homestead. There were some people who wanted to have it as a horse farm. There were some people who wanted to have it as a working farm for growing crops. And there were some people who wanted to use it as a farm for growing products for trees and the like. So we had a number of people who had done it. These people came in, went out to bid. The bid came in lower than what we were looking for. We were looking for some, approximately, I'll say $1.4 million, and it came in less than that. Where Mr. Parsons was in that, I think he might have been the second lowest bidder at that point in time. Conversations then took place to basically have a rebidding on the property, and rebidding was done. I don't know what Mr. Parsons' number was when he first came in, but it was raised substantially from when he came in. So I'll assume he was less than his $1.2 million when he first came in, and he came up to $1.2 million. So I don't know about this $1 million that somebody keeps hollering out that is gone, or where's the $1 million? But if I take $2.2 million and I take $880,000 of money that was coming from the county to pay, and $1.2 million, it looks like the cost of the township might have been somewhere around the $120,000 that was spent in retiring development rights on a 2+ acre piece of ground, which is part of this overall site. Is that a little steep for development rights? Yeah. Is it millions of dollars? No. So we know how, for whatever purposes people want, they change the story to fit whatever they're trying to say. This was something that was done not in working with any individual to try and benefit anyone, but it was trying to find out what would be best for the people of Northampton Township. Yes, there was consideration of it being a potential golf course. And we're looking at something and saying, now we've got a piece of ground, is there some way that we might be able to still preserve it as relative open space, but be able to generate some revenue to continue for the township? Those ideas were looked at, those ideas were considered, those ideas did not pan out, and we moved off and we had it sold, and we're at the current position we're in. It's not a matter of what the price was or how this property was particularly acquired, but more on the basis of the problem that we're faced with now is that a building was illegally built, not just from township code and enforcement basis, but also in violation of the open space plan, the open space covenants that are on that property. What was cited tonight, it went to Bucks County Court, and Bucks County ruled in favor of the applicant at that point in time, and basically said he was fine. The township took an appeal on that particular property, and it went up to the Commonwealth Court. Commonwealth Court heard all the items, any material misunderstandings or material falsities or whatever else Mr. Cooney wants to call them, certainly had the opportunity to be explained to Commonwealth Court, to tell them that there was some decision done at the lower level that was right, and the township shouldn't be approved for this. But the Commonwealth Court didn't do that. The Commonwealth Court looked at this and actually reversed what the Bucks County Court said. And they said, you're wrong. It can't be, and here's what has to get done. That's where we're at. That's the question. It's not looking at anything as far as the individual involved, but looking at where we stand as far as open space in this township, where we stand as far as open space in this county. And this is what the people of the Bucks County voted for to preserve open space. These were dollars that were used here, and there's other property, and there's other dollars that we're looking at now and having some concern about some $430,000 that are going to be used for, renovations to our park, and whether that's really what should be done or shouldn't be done. It's not a question, again, of the renovations to the park. If it's needed, it's needed. We want to have safe facilities for all of our residents. But it's how you go about doing it. I don't think you have to take something that is fully intended to be done for open space and use these funds because it's expedient for you right now. Shouldn't be done. Shouldn't even be considered. But we seem to have this way about us to try and skirt exactly what the facts are. There's an approval that has come down from the Open Space Board. They're looking at it. They've requested some additional information from the township. I don't know that that information has been provided to them. But if they answer the question that has been requested by the Open Space Board, the Open Space Board is going to basically come back and say that no, it can't be done. Because in the open space plan that was part of the overall bond issues that were done, it said you could only use those funds if in fact there was no open space available and ready to be developed. Can we in fact find some open space? Absolutely, positively. Can it be done in a timely fashion? There certainly can be any questions on it. But I can tell you that there have been and there are people who are interested in preservation who have come forward at any number of different times. And we have to decide whether this is something we want or we don't want. This is a problem that we have out there. And part of the problem that you get is you get half the facts coming out the way people want to project their issue. Nothing that was said is incorrect, but it's not all the facts. It doesn't talk about what the intent was by the board members at the time, what the actual issues were at that time, and how everything was moving forward. It's a great factual case that he presented for the pieces he presented, but as was indicated, there's a number of pieces that were missing. So we have people going out and telling residents of the township that there's some, nefarious scheme that was done and millions of dollars are lost, just like there was some, $1.8 million giveaway that's, again, false. But these people persist with this, and hopefully, in a very short time, the people will put an end to this kind of work. That's all I have on that particular issue.